when you look at Auntie Henrietta, she's named Bukal. And as the vine survives the cyclone, it gathers in its wake and it takes us along with it to find the light, to keep growing. It doesn't strangle. It's like the greatest essence of tradition bearers, I guess. And I think of Carl and I think of the dance. And when you see people who have that knowledge and that cultural language, when they're teaching someone young, they don't get a young boy and go, no, that step's wrong and all this. What they do is, if the movement, they put their elbow and they rest that young man's elbow on their elbow and they just dance together. And so the custodian just moves the young boy's arm until he gets the rhythm and then he can do the dance. And I think that's how Auntie Henrietta has taught us all so much. It's that gentle guidance.
Adrian and I drafted a matrix to identify and monitor institutional racism. We did it to cover that of Indigenous health in Queensland, and that report, which came from that, had then gone to the minister, and the minister then addressed it and decided from that report, which was based on the matrix that Adrian and I had designed, and then finally came up and drafted the report, he changed legislation to implement. So that Indigenous people must be on all of the hospital boards throughout Queensland. And then the employment of Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander people within the institution started to happen. So just from that tiny start of drafting a matrix, and this is what we need throughout the museum, throughout every other institution, is to look at how they're dealing with it and what they're governing in order to, again, address the issue of institutional racism. Because when you've got institutional racism, you will always have a larger degree of discrimination happening within its workplace. That's just another part of the journey where we start to strike down institutional racism. We need to get to the core of it and bring that understanding out.